Every professional football player on earth shares the exact same ultimate dream. They want to wear their country's colors, step onto the world's biggest stage, and lift the solid gold FIFA World Cup trophy just once. For most, it remains a dream. For a select few legends, it happens once. For an elite, microscopic handful of superstars, it happens twice. But out of the tens of thousands of players who have laced up their boots and competed in this tournament since 1930, only one single human being has ever climbed to the peak of the mountain and lifted the World Cup trophy 3 times. His name is Edson Arantes do Nascimento, known to the world simply as Pelé. He didn't just play in the World Cup, he ruled it. And the story of his 3 historic crowns is a journey that takes us from a crying 17-year-old boy to the undisputed king of the beautiful game. To understand the weight of Pelé's first title, we have to look back to 1958 in Sweden. Brazil was still suffering from a deep national trauma after losing the 1950 World Cup on home soil. They desperately needed a hero. Nobody expected that hero to be a skinny, unknown 17-year-old kid who started the tournament sitting on the bench. But when Pelé finally got his chance in the knockout rounds, he didn't just play. He put on an offensive clinic that shattered the record books. He scored the winner against Wales in the quarterfinals. He smashed a brilliant hat trick against France in the semifinals. And in the grand final against host nation Sweden, he scored 2 legendary goals, including a breathtaking chip over a defender followed by a thunderous volley. When the final whistle blew, the teenager collapsed into tears of pure joy, carried off on the shoulders of his teammates. At just 17 years old, Pelé was a world champion. 4 years later, in 1962, the tournament moved to Chile. Pelé arrived not as a hidden gem, but as the undisputed best player on the planet. He opened the tournament in spectacular fashion, scoring a brilliant solo goal against Mexico. But in the very next match against Czechoslovakia, tragedy struck. Pelé suffered a severe muscle tear while attempting a long-range shot. His tournament was effectively over. But a world championship is about a squad, not just one man. While a heartbroken Pelé watched from the sidelines, his teammate Garrincha stepped up to put on a magical tournament display. Brazil marched all the way to the final and defeated Czechoslovakia 3-1. Even though he couldn't play the final minutes, Pelé was awarded his second official World Cup medal. He was only 21 years old, and he was already a double world champion. By the time 1970 arrived in Mexico, Pelé was nearly 30. He had actually stepped away from international football after being brutally tackled out of the 1966 tournament, vowing never to play in a World Cup again. But the pull of the beautiful game was too strong. He returned for one final dance, leading what many experts still consider the most beautiful attacking team ever assembled. The 1970 World Cup became Pelé's ultimate masterpiece. He didn't just score goals, he created art. He tried to score from the halfway line against Czechoslovakia. He forced a miraculous save out of England's Peter Banks, and he capped it all off in the final against Italy. Pelé opened the scoring with a majestic, soaring header, and later provided a legendary, blind, perfectly weighted pass for Carlos Alberto to smash home the final goal in a 4-1 destruction. As fans swarmed the pitch, stripping Pelé to his shorts and lifting him into the sky, the debate was permanently settled. He had secured his 3rd World Cup trophy. Miroslav Klose might have the most goals, and Lionel Messi might have the most appearances, but when it comes to pure, golden glory, Pelé stands entirely alone. To win 3 World Cups requires a perfect storm of youthful genius, squad survival, and veteran mastery. It is a record so monumental that it has stood untouched for over half a century. So what's your take? Will any modern player ever manage to equal Pelé's legendary record of 3 World Cup titles? Or will the king's crown remain out of reach forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button for more epic World Cup history in Stickman style. And we'll see you next time at the stadium.